And I put that on my soul. On drugs and they eyes closed. And that's on my soul. On drugs and they eyes closed. On my soul. On drugs and they eyes closed. Listen, Father, time got older, I'ma sin again. Losing any option, so what's
the reason? What's the reason? What's the reason? Because I drove down the street? Because I turned in here? So, I could have put it here 5 times. It doesn't matter. It does not matter how many times I put it in here. I could have put it here 5 times.
It is 1 o'clock in the morning.
It doesn't matter. Lady, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. No, ma'am. It don't matter. I came here because there's too many cars over here, so I decided to drive off. The police was fighting. But just, no, I ain't under detention. You talking about detaining me.
No, you are under detention.
Yeah, for what?
I just told you.
Because I drove down the road.
I just told you.
Well, you like to see? I'm good.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
Where are you? What's going on?
I don't know. You ask her. Yeah, I ain't doing nothing.
Pulled out of here. Went around the roundabout. I got behind you. Pulled into Dante base. I went forward to the roundabout. He then pulled out of Dante base immediately. Went around the roundabout.
565. This is just another complaint to add to my list of complaints. It's that thick. And then come and be lying.
Sometimes you have an accent. Sometimes
yes, because I am African American, but I like to talk Nigerian because
I am African American, but I like to talk Nigerian.
I'm from the South. I'm from the South, man. You know what Hamburg here on this off? That's where I'm from. That's where I'm from. Scott is the line. Like Scottie Pippen. Like I ain't from around here. Like
Okay.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. I actually got off to the wrong start by playing wrong video. I'm going to put the right video on. We're going to play this for a minute. We're going to get into this Ahmaud Arbery trial day 1. Y'all stick around. We about to check this out.
okay.
live here.
I live out here. Yeah. I don't have to. Why?
Come talk to me over here.
I said why?
Has he done something wrong? No, my camera's recording right now. Has he done something wrong?
So what we got here is we got a guy that's from the neighborhood, walking around this neighborhood, trying to get people in the neighborhood to sign a petition. Somebody obviously called the police on him when he was actually standing in front of a friend's home. And he's being harassed by police because he's simply walking around the neighborhood getting the petition signed.
Door to door.
Yeah.
And you have a permit for it? Yeah, you do.
You go door to door to do what?
Come over and talk to me.
So they told him he needs a permit to go around and get petitions signed.
I said go door to door to do what?
Come over here and talk to me.
I'm not going to go so you're not going to tell me.
Go ahead, quit. That's not what you want.
I don't know.
Put your hand behind your back.
For what?
Put your other hand behind your
My
back.
kids is right there.
Okay.
You're
You're either going to follow instructions or you're going to go to jail.
What is wrong?
Come over
Has
here
he
and
broken the law?
talk to me.
Has he broken the law?
It doesn't matter. What law am I breaking? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Has he broken the law?
You ain't telling me nothing.
Look, we don't want.
Without a permit.
Soliciting what?
Whatever you're soliciting.
So you don't even know what I'm
What are
doing.
you soliciting? That's why we're trying over here and talk to me.
Just keep that rolling.
I'm recording. You don't have to get off my porch.
I really don't care. I'll get my problem. I'll let it on report. So what's up?
If there's problems, if we don't want him doing that, then that can be done. But like, he's not doing anything wrong.
Where's your ID?
He lives here.
Give me your ID. For what?
Has he broken the law? He's committing a crime.
Soliciting without a permit.
So now they asking for IDs, asking him for what? And they say soliciting without a permit. This man is just getting petitions signed. He's not selling anything. He's not asking for no cash in exchange. He's just simply asking for petitions to be signed.
So listen, I didn't ask you guys for any money or anything. What am I soliciting?
Then what are you doing?
Have I asked you for the money?
No. He hasn't tried to sell me anything.
Yeah.
So now he's asking him, so what are you doing? Trying to get him to help his investigation now so he can put some charges on him.
And what are you doing? Collecting signatures, that's what I'm doing. I can do that. What? It doesn't matter. I can do that.
It does matter.
We have a right to
caller, which is why we're here making contact with you.
Okay. Where's the card W? I didn't ask somebody for any money or anything. For what?
Okay, where's your ID at?
See, they ask all the questions, but they don't want to answer no questions.
If you fail to identify yourself, you're going to go to jail.
But he's not committed a crime and he's not doing anything wrong. We have the right to petition in this country.
No, I'm not.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
What am I going to arrest him?
So now he's under arrest simply for getting a petition signed, asking for collecting signatures. Let's say he's collecting signatures. Now he's getting arrested. He's being told to turn around and put his hands behind his back.
Can I have your badge number, sir?
And opposing. Turn around and put your hands.
Hindering what? There's no investigation because there's been no crime committed. Okay, well, don't play with my rights. Number, sir.
And opposing. Turn around and put your hands.
Hindering.
So he's being arrested for hindering and opposing.
What? There's no investigation because there's been no crime committed. Okay, well, don't play with my rights. I need your badge number.
I live in the front up there. I just told you that.
Deputy Hamilton, and who are you?
I'm Luan.
Can I have your badge number, officer?
How many times do I gotta tell you to put your hands behind your back?
Please don't do this right now.
How many times are we gonna do this? Turn around, you're under arrest.
What you gonna do it again?
Basically kidnapping him. He's telling him, turn around, you under arrest. He asked him plenty of times for what. He didn't come up with anything. Then he finally said hindering and opposing. This man is out collecting signatures.
You're under arrest. I thought you were doing my McGee. Figure that out.
You'll figure that out? Seriously? What's your...
He said, what are y'all going to do about my kids? He said, we'll figure it out. He got his kids with him.
Your arrest for?
You don't do this.
Give it to me.
I'm in 15. You take the 15 up there?
Yeah. What's your badge number, officer? You legally have to provide that to me. You're on my property, on my camera, under my surveillance, with my sticker in the window, and you owe me a badge number, both of you. When you're finished, I need a badge number now. I'm going to have them call them, and then I'll have your superiors come down here. There are due processes that you need to follow as officers, and you're not, so please give me your badge number.
Shout out to Marco Luna. He said, these clowns need to lose their qualified immunity. This is insane. Although they do, they won't. This is crazy, okay? Like, man, listen. If y'all not paying attention to what's going on, this should open your eyes, okay? If you're going down the street, you got a right to petition. You got a right to collect signatures for it. But as long as that man ain't causing any problems at any of those properties, you know, get violent or harassing, there's no reason he should be in cuffs.
I'm not asking you for anything else but a badge number. You're on my property, on my camera, under my surveillance, so we have a problem. Because you definitely tripping.
I'm talking to her. You told I'm soliciting. I'm not soliciting my man for any money. I ain't nothing about any money.
I'll take y'all home in a second.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, walk down here.
Now they hauling him off.
Come on, Peter. I'm not going to stop recording him, though. You got somebody you want me to call?
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, the man has his kids with him, okay? They're locking him up for signing petitions. He got his kids with him.
You just hold on. It's already recorded. I'm going to go get your phone. I'll be right back.
Okay, I don't know her phone number. I'll just tell you. I'm sorry.
Keep the camera on your dad, okay?
All right.
Give me your phone.
Yeah, I'm filming it. All right.
Got JoJo Capone in the background. Says your device is not connected, bro. I can't even bring you in because it says your device is not connected. Work on that, and I'll bring you in, bro. You just disappeared, so I'm waiting for you to come back up.
Hey. He's gonna tell you my mom's number.
What's your phone number?
My girl's number is 404
Uh-huh.
740 0517.
I know you're not searching him for no reason. I'll make sure you're getting this on there, baby. Alright, let me see this.
Basically kidnapped him from off the public sidewalk.
I'm still waiting on a fucking badge number.
Because they didn't like the fact that he was going around the neighborhood collecting signatures for a petition.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's pretty bad when you're harassing the people that live here. Y'all definitely tripping.
Oh.
Hey, but don't touch me. Hey! Hey, but don't touch me. Hey!
Don't touch him like
You
that.
definitely on camera, bro.
Don't
Knock
touch
that
him
shit
like that.
off. Baby, stop. Knock on the door. Knock on the door. Knock on the door. Open the door and tell Steve to come out here. Oh, go in there and tell Steve, come out here.
Steve, come out.
I need you to get the keys and I need you to take these kids up front, or I need you to stand out here and record this.
Alright, what?
Don't cry. That's why we got kids.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah, me too.
They always be shooting that they can do what?
So that was a Facebook video I just came across. They basically just about to haul him to jail for no reason. Kidnapping, like they usually do. A little something I seen, I figured I'd show y'all before we get into this day one Ahmaud Arbery trial. Well, it's not the Ahmaud Arbery trial, but it's the trial of his murder, should I say. I'm about to get into this joint. It was very interesting what went down today. The prosecution, their opening statements lasted about 3 hours. Basically ran down what, their narrative was of what happened. What we seen this past year and a half, or past year, should I say. Let me cut this off real quick. Videos of him going into the property, looking around, not stealing anything. And then it got to the video to the part where, he was approached by the three men, how he was being chased with the truck and was trapped and, forced into a ditch, things like that. And it went over to the defense side, and it got very interesting on how they portrayed Ahmaud Arbery. So I'm not even going to get into the 3 hour opening statement of the prosecution. I'm going to get into the defense. I found that to be more interesting. Shout outs New Guru. Let me get some shout outs to everybody. Mitchie 450s, they sing us a little song, brother. I don't know, man. I ain't in the mood for a song. Maybe later on. But shout outs to Marco Luna, keep us the list, Jojo Capone, Denise Speece. What's going on? Shout outs to Greensboro, North Carolina. John McElroy's Ghost, Lewis Street, Crank Gillis.
First time I've heard that, though.
Again, this is the opening statement from the defense. I'm skipping the prosecution. We pretty much know what happened. The lady didn't say too much far off of what we didn't know. She said a few things, but it wasn't much far off from what we've known and the information that they gathered throughout the past year. So I'm skipping that. I'm going straight into the defense opening statement. First, the judge is going to deny some motions.
So with the WebEx, if you got two speakers on or two microphones.
How's the audio? The video is low. Volume is low. Let me know how my audio is on this video.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, was it you? Had previously done so.
Shout out to Level Wise.
Glenn County's jury plan with a few minor tweaks that I think are already on the record. As I mentioned to counsel, I told the jurors that they were welcome to sit in the jury box if they felt comfortable. It does appear for the record that the vast majority, if not all of them, are comfortable sitting in the jury box. Now the issue we have is we've got more jurors that want to sit in the box than we can actually seat. So we have one juror that we are going to have to either put in the front row of the gallery or possibly work out another solution.
Shout out Kenny Powers.
So for the record, we've made that change in the jury plan, and unless I hear from the jury that there's a problem with that, we'll continue to do so. Okay.
I would ask the court to humbly ask the court to reconsider allowing the jurors who choose to do so, if they choose to do so, to remove their masks. Constitutionally, we maintain that we are entitled to be able to see the faces of the jurors who are deliberating.
That's crazy right there. So the defense, this geek neck dude right here, he asked the judge to ask the jurors to remove their masks if they're comfortable doing so. And he says constitutionally they have a right to see their faces. Okay. Being as though they're so strict during this pandemic, constitutionally the jurors have a right to protect themselves. Let's hear that again.
So we have one juror that we are going to have to out another. So for the record, we've made that change in the jury plan, and unless I hear from the jury that there's a problem with that, we'll continue to do so. Okay.
I would ask the court to humbly ask the court to reconsider allowing the jurors who choose to do so, if they choose to do so, to remove their masks. Constitutionally, we maintain that we are entitled to be able to see the faces of the jurors.
I like how they use the Constitution to sway the judge to make them move their mask. My fault, I'll take it back. I ain't hear the judge.
But just for the record, we're getting some kind of feedback. So we're just going to try to get that in the middle of opening. Let's make sure that doesn't happen in the middle of opening. But just for the record, we're getting some kind of feedback. So we're just going to try.
I know it's kind of weird right there. He said, let's make sure that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the middle of opening.
To get that cleared up.
They got some mic difficulties going on in the courtroom. It was much louder when the prosecution was doing her opening statement. Keepers of the list said the jurors aren't the accusers. That's right.
Technology is wonderful until it's not. They just
Took them a minute to get everything together, but the jurors are coming in now, and it's about to get started.
Please be seated. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You can see everybody, I think. You can see y'all over there. Okay. Hope you enjoyed your lunch. We are ready to proceed with opening statements in the case. Counsel for Travis McMichael.
It's Travis McMichael's representative.
Good afternoon. For those of you who may not remember from 2 weeks ago or whom I never met, my name is Bob Rubin.
Bob Rubin, Travis McMichael's representation. And from the bat, this dude, he come right off foul.
I'm with Jason Sheffield, who I think y'all met, who represent Travis McMichael. This case is about duty and responsibility.
He said this case is about duty and responsibility. All right? From the door, he comes straight out the stalls foul. Duty and responsibility. This case is about duty and responsibility of someone who didn't commit a crime. Okay?
About Travis McMichael's duty and responsibility to himself, to his family, and to his neighborhood. And it's about your duty and responsibility as jurors. The state talked about actions based on assumptions. I'm going to talk about facts. Facts in this case. Travis McMichael is 35 years old. He's single. He has a 5-year-old son named Everett. From 2007 until 2016, Travis McMichael was in the United States Coast Guard. He was a boarding officer in the Coast Guard, which means he was authorized to make arrests. He was authorized to do investigations. He was authorized to do searches.
And already I see where he's going. I seen where he was going earlier today. He's a piece of shit, just like the rest of them. Both sides, prosecution and defense. He's, basically trying to say that this dude went through all this training as, an official with where he worked at. Basically, the training gives him the necessary reasons to do what he did on the day of killing Ahmaud Arbery. It's crazy because one of the arguments is that they didn't know if he was armed because 12 days earlier, Travis McMichael rode past the house and seen somebody at the property of the English's property and said they seen him inside of the house and he reached into his left pocket. So 12 days later, they see him. He's running. He's got a T-shirt on, gray shorts, and they were unaware or not sure if he was carrying a weapon. But they said as he was running, when they noticed that he was running, that he was hauling ass. Okay, that's just weak to me. How you gonna be doing all this running and you got a weapon on him? You have a weapon on you at the same time with the little thin attire that he was wearing as he was running.
Are often the difference between life and that we're taking their property. and neighbors in Satilla Shores felt a duty and responsibility to each other to post on the neighborhood pages, Facebook and Nextdoor, about the crime that was happening. And you'll hear about that. The types of posts that you saw on these pages includes, "This is ridiculous." My dog.
This is ridiculous. Be on the lookout. These are the Satilla Shores neighborhood Facebook page comments. What do we do to get this to stop? I felt so violated. What the heck is going on? Lock your cars. What in the world? This is getting old. I'm always nervous. My daughter always freaks out.
Daughter always freaks out. It's getting old. I'm nervous. Lock your cars.
Wow.
These are actual posts from that neighborhood Facebook page. As a result of this uptick in crime, of people being on edge, people were alert to suspicious behavior. In July of 2019, Travis McMichael and Greg McMichael were alert to suspicious behavior, long before ever encountering Ahmaud Arbery.
So they go all the way back to July 2019. I'm going to tell you right now, whenever they make the movie for this shit, all they got to go is to the defense's narrative, right? Because they're making a whole production out this shit, building a whole story around the small part of them chasing Ahmaud Arbery down, trapping him, and killing him. Okay, now because they all in panic and fear and pay big bucks for these lawyers, now they done built the whole story. So whenever they make the movie, they just go straight to the defense's narrative on this one.
In July of 2019, Travis McMichael, who was at that point running a little charter boat, taking people out, tourists out on the river, in the marshes, was on his boat with some guests when he went under the Fancy Bluffs Bridge that you heard about earlier. There he saw a homeless man who had lots of stuff around him and a tarp. The kind of stuff that made Travis look twice and made Travis feel suspicious that maybe this was the guy who was taking the stuff out of our neighborhood. So he dropped off his guests eventually, went home, got in the car with his father, Gray, and they drove to the area under the Fancy Bluffs Bridge. There they saw the man. What you see up here is the call report. It's basically a report made of Greg McMichael's 911 call to the Glenn County Police to say, hey, basically, there's a guy under the bridge we think is responsible. Could you please investigate?
All the way back to July 2019, talking about a guy under the bridge that doesn't have shit to do with the case. Let me forward a little bit.
Is this large garage? That's where he kept, it's called RV garage, but it's really a boat garage for Mr. English. Eventually, because of some advice from his neighbor, Kenny Wade, who lived next door, he installed a camera at the dock and one on the back of his house, which you can't see from this photo. He was concerned about liability because kids were playing out there and they would take his scraps of wood, they would hang out by the dock. But he was also concerned about theft because he had valuables at his house. He had 2 boats, sometimes 3 boats, and he parked his camper on the property. You can't see in the picture, but you'll see eventually.
So they're speaking about the guy's property now. His last name is English. I forgot his first name. I think it's Kenny English or something. Last name is definitely English. They're speaking about the property and how he was realizing over time that property was being stolen. Things that was in his boat, expensive things. Then he started putting cameras up, and they had Ahmaud Arbery on camera, just walking around looking.
His camper that he stayed in, sometimes alone, sometimes with his wife and kids, when they came to the house either to work on it or to play at. So he was concerned about all of this when he installed those cameras. Over the course of the next 3-4 months, he saw on his cameras at night Ahmaud Arbery 4 times. The first time, and this is the first time his camera alerted at all, was October 25th, 2019. Now remember, he's in Douglas, Georgia. He has a cell phone. When his camera spots somebody, he gets an alert on his cell phone. This is a photograph of Ahmaud Arbery on his dock, October 25th, 2019. He gets this alert. He sees this man. He calls Glenn County Police Department. Can't call 911 because 911 would go to Douglas Police. But he calls the 911 number for Glenn County Police. And he's scared. And he's concerned. What is this guy doing at my house at night? There is no legitimate reason, according to Mr. English, for this man to be at his house where his boats are stored, where his camper is parked at night. And he calls the police. He's concerned not only for his stuff, but he's concerned for his family. Because what if Amy was there at the camper alone? What if his daughter, Laura, was there sleeping there that night? And she walks outside and bumps into this intruder. And he gets scared, and he panics, and she panics, and something really, really awful happens. These are the thoughts that went through Larry English's mind when he sees this intruder in his house on October 25th, 2019. He calls back Glenn County a second time after this initial call. Go back a little bit. Okay.
So it's just basically showing how many times Ahmaud Arbery came onto the property. He was on the property multiple times. He's saying because there was an uptick in crime within the neighborhood that these were one of the reasons why everybody was on edge. Okay. Over, I don't know, a year, I guess, Ahmaud Arbery was caught on tape at this man's property 4 times. Never stole anything. Okay. I don't understand how this goes into the whole thing of them running into him that day and killing him. I don't know if he's trying to make it seem like, well, because he was on the property so much, he appeared to be a threat over time. Is one of the reasons why they were so aggressive with excessive force. And, you know, basically the reply, what they said was because he didn't say nothing and kept running meant that he was guilty.
Because he calls the police to tell them that the man who's on the dock, and he describes him as plundering around, describes his tattoos, describes his hair twists. The man who was in his house plundering around has now gone across the street towards his other neighbor's house. He describes it as a, I think, whitish, yellowish house. It's Sue B. Lawrence's house. It's a neighbor he knows. Sue B. is a single mom. She's a mother of 3 boys.
I'm going to take that back real quick because
that were taking their property. And neighbors in Satilla Shores felt a duty and responsibility to each other to post on the neighborhood pages, Facebook and Nextdoor, about the crime that was happening. You don't hear about that. The types of posts that you saw on these pages includes, as a result, but the break-ins, the theft, didn't end. Especially for a man named Larry English. For Mr. English, it was only beginning. Larry English, as you heard, lives in Douglas, Georgia. He was so excited to have a weekend home in Satilla Shores on this beautiful little Satilla River. He built a home. He was going to use it for weekends and vacations with his wife Amy, his daughter Laura, his son Hoyt. And so it took time, delays and all that with contractors and him, because he calls the police to tell them that the man who's on the dock, and he describes him as plundering around, describes his tattoos, describes his hair twists. The man who was in his house plundering around has now gone across the street towards his other neighbor's house. He describes it as a, I think, whitish, yellowish house. It's Subi Lawrence's house. It's a neighbor he knows. Subi is a single mom. She's a mother of 3 boys. The boys who play out.
I had to rewind that, and then I lost the spot and had to fast forward again. But that's the part that I wanted to get to when he said that he left the house and went towards the neighbor's house across the street. That's kind of funny because right before that, he said that at the time, English only had 2 cameras, which were pointing to the back, towards the dock and towards the area where his boats were. So that's kind of funny right there.
Towards his other neighbor's house. He describes it as describes his tattoos, describes his hair twists. The man who was in his house plundering around has now gone across the street towards his other neighbor's house. He describes it as a, I think, whitish, yellowish house.
So I think where he's trying to go at with that Keepers of the List says, what does the woman and the kids have to do with this? So it's not necessarily a woman and kids. It's them trying to say, well, Ahmaud Arbery had a habit of frequently trespassing on properties. And it was trespassing. They just never was able to catch up to him to give him that, that verbal warning, don't come back. Because if he was to catch up with him and they locked him up, he had to be stealing or, destructing some kind of property or doing something. But they never caught up with him, and they was never able to give him a verbal trespass to tell him not to come back. But I think, what he's trying to go at is that Ahmaud Arbery was just all around on property. I don't even believe that part when he said he went across the street. How do you know? Earlier, he said that there were cameras pointing towards the back. So I had pointed it out because I really don't believe it.
It's Subi Lawrence's house. It's a neighbor he knows. Subi is a single mom. She's a mother of 3 boys. The boys who play outside and ride their bikes and steal Larry English's scraps of wood for their skateboard ramp or their fort or whatever they're doing. This is who Mr. English sees and who he's concerned about. And he wants the police to confront this man and tell him, don't come back. He doesn't see him take anything. Remember, he's only got cameras on the back of the house right now. 1 camera, back of the house, and 1 camera at the dock.
Boom. 1 camera in the back of the house, 1 camera on the dock. So how would he know that he went across the street to Subi, Shubi, or whoever her name is with the boys who would steal the planks from Englishman? How would they know that when they got 2 cameras pointing to the back?
He wants them removed. By the time police come, and I think it's Officer Rash who responds that first time. Robert Rash. You'll hear from Officer Rash. No sign of Mr. Arbery. The man we later find out is Ahmaud Arbery. No sign. Now he's okay with curiosity seekers coming to his house. We've all done it. See a house under construction. It looks kind of interesting. Oh, what are the neighbors building? What are they adding on? What's the staircase going to look like? He's okay with all that. He's okay with the kids coming in during the daytime, taking the scraps of wood. It didn't matter to him. What concerned him was there is no reason that's legitimate to be there at night. And that's why he calls the police. Sometime after October 25th, Mr. English is on a ladder in his RV garage, looks in his offshore boat, and realizes his satellite system, his Yeti cooler, and his microphone system are gone. Taken out of the boat.
Okay. He had the shit left out. You could walk straight through it. It was a shell. What you expect? They already said it was kids hanging out in the dock. What this got to do with them hunting this man and murdering him in cold blood?
He doesn't know who did it. He does know the HVAC guys were in that area installing some of the not pipes, some of the system in there. He also knows the black male from October 25th was in there. And so he's suspicious. But what can he do? The next alert on his phone is November 17th. Okay. November 17th, a white couple comes on his property at night, 10 o'clock at night. They park out by the porta potty that you saw in the earlier picture. The man has his belt unbuckled, comes in the house, and he calls 911, and he says, about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, I had my stuff stolen. This is now November 17th. Week and a half, 2 weeks ago is pretty close to October 25th. I've had my stuff stolen. They're in the same area. They're going around where the boat is in the RV garage. Police send an officer out. Officers go out. The couple's gone. They see nothing. Mr. English is upset. He's frustrated. He has valuables stored at the house. Stuff has been stolen. Now 2 people, you can see on his cameras, 3 people, 2 white people and a black male. And so the next morning, November 18th, he goes and he gets his boat and he hauls it away. Figures, I just can't keep valuables in this house that's open, but is owned by him with his valuables. So
Shout out to Kenny Powers. HVAC guy who's black is suspicious, but white guy with pants down at night is okay. Yeah, how about that?
That very night, November 18th, he sees the same black male he saw.
Shout out to Wayne Fane.
The man we now know is Ahmaud Arbery. He's back again. He's seen around the boat, not the big offshore boat, but the other boats. And according to Mr. English, he's plundering around again. He calls Glenn County Police again. Glenn County Police arrive again. And again, Mr. Arbery gets away without being confronted by the police. And Mr. English is frustrated, of course. He's so frustrated that the very next day, November 19th, these are all out of order, and this is why we don't use technology. All right, November 18th, 2019. This is the night he sees Ahmaud Arbery for the second time. There's somebody back on the property again tonight. Black man, not wearing a shirt, in late November, got tattoos on his arms and a pair of light-colored shorts. He's wandering in the carport, looking in the boat, not the offshore boat, the smaller boat. The same guy that was here about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. The night before, he's calling police saying, my stuff was stolen a week and a half, 2 weeks before. It kind of looks like he's up to no good. He's on 3 different people's cameras in the neighborhood. This is Larry English's 911 call on November 18th, 2019. November 19th.
Basically, what he's saying is all this suspicion from the nights that he was caught on camera and caught on the Englishman's property. This is the reason why he was killed in cold blood on that Sunday.
The very next day, he has an exchange through text message with his 2 doors down neighbor, Diego Perez. Diego Perez is another person who believes it's his duty and responsibility to look out not just for himself, but for his neighbors. And so Diego has this conversation with Larry English.
Here you go with this duty and responsibility.
From an extraction from Larry English's phone. So, and you'll see this in evidence. And it's out of order, the way it's printed out. So I'm going to kind of walk you through it, because the first exchange is from Larry English. He sends Diego Perez clips of the videos from the white couple on the 17th of November and the black male on the 18th of November. And he says to Diego Perez, who he just knows as Diego Satilla Shores, that's how he's in his phone. They're not friends. They're just neighbors, good neighbors. And he says to Diego, have you seen these people in the neighborhood? And Diego says, no, sir. I can't say I've ever seen them in the neighborhood, but I'll keep an eye out. I can respond in mere seconds, because he's only 2 doors down. With your permission. Larry English says, you have my permission.
Shout out, Wing fan. Have a good night.
Says, I may be able to intercept them or pen them up for the police. I may be able to intercept them or pen them up for the police. Diego Perez is taking it upon himself, if he can, to perform a citizen's arrest. I'm going to hold them until the police come. And Larry English's response to that, thank you.
Wow.
Because seconds count. Diego Perez knows it. Larry English now knows it. Because 3 times he's tried to catch his intruders, and 3 times he's failed because the police just get there too late. As Diego Perez artfully put it, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. And so he needs the help of Diego Perez and other neighbors. Officer Rash, who responds to these calls, he canvasses the neighborhood. He's trying to catch this guy. And so he canvasses the neighborhood using stills from the video. Have you seen this guy? Do you know him? Can you help me help Larry English? And no one knows him. He's not jogging in the neighborhood. No one's ever seen him. The only time we see Ahmaud Arbery in Satilla Shores is at night on these cameras. And remember, people have cameras in the neighborhood. If he was in there jogging in the daytime, you would see evidence of that. So November 19th, Diego Perez offers to help.
So he's trying to put Ahmaud Arbery in a position of intending to do something and looking suspicious. They said that as well, but he still didn't commit a crime. I'm trying to figure out how they gonna point out the crime that he committed to justify why they killed him. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Rash canvasses the neighborhood. He's still a mystery. He is at this point a scary mystery. Because he's plundering around Larry English's house, and now everybody knows it.
Plundering.
Officer Rash has canvassed the neighborhood. Larry English is talking to neighbors like Matt Albenzi, like Subi Lawrence, like his neighbor Diego and his wife Brooke Perez. It's being posted on Facebook, on the neighborhood Facebook page. Word is out that stuff was stolen from Larry English's house, parked in his RV garage. Now, I want to be clear. In May, after Travis McMichael was arrested, Larry English realizes he doesn't really know when the stuff was stolen. It was back in Douglas. It was in the house on Satilla Drive. But what he was telling people in October, November, December, January, February 2020, that the stuff was taken out of my boat, parked at my house on Satilla Drive. That's what the neighbors knew from Larry.
So let me pull this back up real quick. They said English reported that he was plundering. Steal goods from a place or person, typically using force, and in a time of war or civil disorder, looters move into the disaster area to plunder stores. Basically, steal goods, typically using force, and in a time of disorder. The contents of the abandoned houses were plundered by members of the new regime. Take materials from for one's own purpose. All right. I was always under the impression that he never took anything. So where are the goods? I've never seen any videos of him picking anything up, taking anything. Where are the goods of him on footage? Where is he on footage taking goods? Because that's a false report. All right? That's a false report if that dude English said that he was plundering. And somebody mentioned earlier about he should be on trial as well. Well, if he made a false report, then yes, he should be. That's crazy.
And Officer Rash. He's back at the house, Ahmaud Arbery, on December 17th. This is now the third time seen on camera.
John McElroy. Shout out to John McElroy. He said it's easy. The men in the truck meant to detain him. The jogger feared for his life and attacked. Their defense is self-defense. How is it self-defense when Roddy Bryan, whatever the fuck his name is chasing him down the road with his truck? So close that it was a palm print on the joint. It was a palm print on the truck. Guess they talking about he trying to get in. Y'all believe that story? How many believe that story? That he was trying to get in the moving truck, that Roddy was trying to sideswipe him on the side of the road. How many believe that story that he was trying to get in the truck? Come on, man. He probably was putting a palm print, putting his hand on the side of the car to try to get a balance as he was running. Come on, that sounds crazy. But John McElroy goes, he said the men in the truck meant to detain him. The jogger feared for his life and attacked. But before that, like it was just too much going on before that. He was running away from a situation. They had no insight of anything that was going on as far as him committing a crime. Like, they was doing too much. They trapped him. You know, this is the narrative that the prosecution is giving, but I believe it. Roddy just jumped right on in. He was with it. Ooh, doggy, we got ourselves a nigger to kill. They was with it. I think it was a cold-blooded murder on a Sunday afternoon.
Larry English's house. He's at night. He has no legitimate reason for being there. And remember, although you're seeing him through infrared cameras, it is pitch black in that house. There is no light. There's no lights on. There's no light switch. No light bulbs. It is pitch dark. And on December 17th, Ahmaud Arbery is seen plundering around again in the area where the boats were located in that RV garage. Police are not called that night. There is no 911 call. Larry English can't remember why he didn't call police. He may have been sick and not seen this video until much later.
Well, he just said it. His neighbor said, if we get some information, I'll hold them down. I got you. Don't worry about it. There was no reason for him to call.
You saw the clip of the video.
Shout out to Mad Cat.
Walking outside the house, looking around again, and taking off into the neighborhood. And the question remains, was he out for a jog? 10 o'clock at night, December 17th? Or was he doing something else? And we'll never know.
Shout out to Greg Norris. Exactly. He think he gonna pull this bullshit ass story off about, oh, he was there so many times, so they finally knew who he was. They caught up with him. He ran for 5 minutes. There was a situation earlier about time lapse. They said they wasn't going to speak about it, and prosecution spoke about it anyway. And it was a whole bunch of back and forth. But, listen, the fact that they ran him down in trucks, okay? He had a T-shirt and a pair of thin-ass shorts on. The simple fact that he did that they did that, and he was running away, shows that they had intent to kill him. They come up with all this story about what happened. Listen, if they trap him with a gun, with a shotgun, and he trying to move his hands and knock it out the way or whatever, because it couldn't have been too much going on other than that, seconds was precious. He's out of breath. He was running for 5 minutes, so they say. He out of breath. How much could he been doing? No, they ran him down and they killed him. Come on, man. They not going to pull that shit off. It's not going down. They going down.
The next time he's seen in Larry English's house is February 11th, 2020. This is now the 4th time in the house.
So what?
But this time is different.
I say so what because he hasn't been charged. He was never charged with anything. He never caught up with him. It was how private. So now private citizens can do what the police doing. What we fighting the very police to not do. So now private citizens could do it as well. They could just take it upon themselves to assume that, oh, this nigga was just doing something. We've got to kill him. Come on, running him down on a Sunday. They was ready. They had to be ready. They caught him on tape. He was on tape multiple times in the property. Never took nothing. They knew he didn't take anything. They just didn't like the fact he was in the neighborhood, and they wanted to do something about it. And they became vigilantes, and they did something about it.
Not Larry English who calls the police. It's Travis McMichael. The state got the facts a little bit wrong, so let me correct them. Travis McMichael was going out that night, about 7:30 at night, it's dark, to get gas, fill up his car before the next day. He had to be at work early, so he was just going to fill up his car that night. So he wouldn't have to wake up so early in the morning the next day. On his way up the street,
listen to this. This is 12 nights before. McMichael got in his truck. He on his way up the street.
The exit up here is English's house. As he gets up here, he sees a figure dart across the street. And this figure, now he realizes it's a man, is lurking in the shadows 25 to 30 feet from the street. Kind of staying in the shadows very furtively, catches Travis's attention. He has no idea who this is. He's never met Ahmaud Arbery. But he sees this guy, and he sees this guy kind of running across the lawn. It's really initially the house next door. Kind of a Spanish-style house. He runs across the yard, and he hides behind that red porta potty that you saw in that photograph. Travis is like, this is not good. We know about a guy intruding in Larry English's house. And he stops his car and he kind of aims his headlights at the porta potty.
Shout out to Jonathan Nicola. What's going on, bro?
No legitimate reason for this man to be there. He starts to get out of his car to ask him why he's there. Well, this guy steps out from the porta potty and he reaches with his left hand, I believe, into his waist, as if reaching for a weapon. Scares the heck out of Travis. He sees this. He's trying to get out. Gets in his car, puts it in reverse, stalls because he's so startled. Eventually backs up, gets home, where he calls 911, and this is what he says. This is the 911 call. We're not going to play the whole thing because it's too long.
We got a friend of ours. I was working in the neighborhood, and I just called down running into
Let me pause this real quick. It says, this is his report. We've had a string of burglaries. I just caught a guy running into a house being built 2 houses down from me. When I turned around, saw him and backed up, he reached into his pocket and ran into the house. So I don't know if he's armed or not, but he looked like he was acting like he was. So, be mindful of that. That's basically saying, if you got to kill this motherfucker, make sure you kill him. If you ask me, it sounded like he was putting shit in place. This was happening over a period of time. I mean, I'm pretty sure they was really sick of it the second time around. Just hearing that the neighbor was complaining about footage of Ahmaud Arbery being on his property and in his property. It sounded like they was putting, whether he seen him dart across the street or not that night and was on the property, it just seemed like he was putting shit in place to try to, if it was to go down, like it did go down, he'd be cool. But it ain't work out like that, and I don't think it's going to work out like that for neither of them. None of them. Roddy, he's going to get caught up just for trying to be damn.
He took off running into her house. What did he look like? The black male, red shirt, white, short tie. And you said the house was being built? The vehicle that was taken right now, he is in the house. Travis McMichael, 4230, 1374. Alright. Where are you at now? I'm at Steve, across the street, in my truck.
Philly Boy 420, what up, bro? Shout out Philly Boy 420. So that's McMichael's report of the night of him seeing a figure dart across the road. Fast forward this a little bit.
Officer Rash appreciates the help. He never tells Greg McMichael, Travis McMichael, or Diego Perez, hey guys, let the police handle this. We got this. No problem. You guys go home. He never tells them, hey, put those guns away. We don't need guns out here. Don't carry guns around. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, no, you guys cannot stop and detain this guy if you catch him. That's a police job because it is a citizen's job to help the police. And the law authorizes that. He tells Greg McMichael and Travis McMichael that Larry English says nothing was stolen. But these guys know stuff was stolen. Everybody knows it. Larry English has already told everybody. Subi, Matt, Diego, Brooke, Annette Beasley, Ronnie Olson, Rash has been around. We all know it. Stuff has been stolen. So now here we are. Here are facts, not assumptions. Travis McMichael has now seen Ahmaud Arbery face to face for the first time. At Larry English's house, and then in Larry English's house. He's had a first-hand encounter. He knows that Ahmaud Arbery has been lurking around that house for no legitimate reason. Not authorized to be there.
Is it lurking or plundering? Because the report was made by English that he was plundering. Defense just said it.
I'm working on the house. Not doing anything.
We heard the defense say that.
He knows stuff has been stolen. It's probably the property. These things have a mind of their own. He knows stuff has been stolen because Larry English has told everybody that. He knows this guy has the audacity to go in the house despite knowing people are around and watching him. He knows he's possibly armed because he made that move to his left-hand pocket, waist. He has probable cause to believe a burglary has been committed. What is burglary? Go back one slide. Burglary is entering a dwelling, whether occupied or not. The fact that it's open without doors means nothing. It's any dwelling, any building, structure, whether occupied or not, without authority, with the intent to commit a felony or theft. You don't actually, to commit a burglary, have to take anything. It is the intent to take something or to commit another felony that makes it a burglary. Travis McMichael.
But this proves what? This proves that they had to kill him. He still was running away. He was trying to get away from these dudes. That proves that if that's the truth and it comes down to that law, that he was committing a burglary, whether he took anything or not, just from entering the dwelling, he was committing a burglary because he did it multiple times. Does that prove that they should have killed him on that Sunday afternoon?
McMichael has probable cause, based on his training of what probable cause is, to believe Ahmaud Arbery is a burglar. Probable cause. What does it mean? It is the level of suspicion.
Objection. At this point in time, I have an objection at this point in time to this being the law, and the law is going to come from the court. And this has not been, how do I put this, approved on any level by the court.
Well, let me make it clear. This is what Travis McMichael understood from his training was the definition of probable cause.
Okay.
So the
Just
evidence
clarify where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, as I indicated to you, the court will actually charge you on the law. During the presentation here, the representation is made on what the law is. Again, the court, you will receive that from the court. You will not be receiving that from counsel. So if we could please couch the argument in those terms.
Yes, sir. And this is not what I understand probable cause to be. This is what Travis McMichael, from his 10 years in the Coast Guard, understands probable cause to be. The level of suspicion that would cause a reasonable and prudent person to believe that a crime has been committed under the totality of the circumstances. That's it. It's the level of suspicion that you would need under the totality of the circumstances to believe that a crime was committed. That's where Travis McMichael sat as of February 11th, 2020. The next time we see Ahmaud Arbery in Satilla Shores is February 23rd. a beautiful day, kind of a warm February day in Brunswick. Travis McMichael, around midday, around 1 o'clock, is on the couch in his living room, trying to get Everett to take a nap, 3-year-old son. So he's doing the strategies that parents do. He has Everett every other week. He shares custody with Everett's mom. On this Sunday, he's trying to get Everett to go to sleep. Greg is in the front yard, in the driveway, reupholstering his boat cushions. It is a pleasant, uneventful Sunday morning leading into Sunday afternoon. While they're doing that, Ahmaud Arbery is walking into the neighborhood, not jogging, not running, walking into the neighborhood, walking into Larry English's front yard. Yes. Where he stands there, and this is the view from Ronnie Olson's house across the street, where he stands there, looks around, and walks into the house. While he's doing that, Matt Albenzi is in his yard, down Jones. He's down here. You can see directly into Larry English's yard. He is aware of the break-ins into Larry English's house. He is aware of the items stolen from Larry English's boat. He's out splitting logs. A tree had fallen in his yard, so he's breaking up the tree. He sees this guy that looks like the guy from the video clips. In fact, is the guy from the video clips, walking into Larry English's house. He grabs his gun, puts it in his pocket, grabs his cell phone, walks down Jones to an oak tree. There it is.
Shout out Philly Boy 420.
And he calls 911. While he's calling 911, he sees Ahmaud Arbery through the windows in Larry English's house. He doesn't know what he's doing in there, but he knows this guy's been there at night 4 times prior. He knows stuff is stolen, so he's calling the police. He believes, eye contact with Ahmaud Arbery. The next thing he sees is Ahmaud Arbery sprint out of that house. He is not jogging. He is running away.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That does not give them the right to chase him down and gun him down. If anything, follow him. Call the cops, follow him. Y'all got a truck. He can't outrun y'all. Y'all can give, if y'all that concerned about this dude being in y'all neighborhood, give the description that he has on of his clothing, follow him, and let the police know. Be on the line with the police the whole time, if that's the kind of people y'all are. But to gun him down and try to trap him and murder him, nah.
Into the neighborhood, possibly armed, based on prior experience. He is sprinting at what turns out to be about a 6-minute mile. It's fast, and he's got long strides. That view is from Diego Perez's surveillance camera. He runs right past Greg McMichael's yard. Greg McMichael sees him. Greg McMichael is aware.
Shout out Stefan
of the things that have
McKinley.
happened that we've talked about. Greg McMichael sees him tearing, hauling ass down the road.
Hauling ass.
McMichael sees him tearing, hauling ass down the road. And he knows what's up. And he goes inside and he tells Travis.
Well, what kind of shit is that? He knows what's up. He see him haul ass down the road. Okay, call the cops. Follow him. What the defense sound like he just told the whole intent right there.
Travis, the guy's running down the street. The guy. They know who it is.
The guy.
Guy's running, knows what's up. And he goes inside and he tells Travis, the guy's running down the street.
The guy is running down the street like they was already. This sounds like the intent right there. They was already waiting on this dude, and the end result was when they caught up with him was killed him. They was already ready. Come on, man.
The guy. They know who it is. They're not guessing. It's not some random guy running down the street. It's the guy. And they turn out to be right. It is the guy. The same guy 4 previous times at night. They grab their guns. Now, why did Travis McMichael grab his shotgun? Because 12 days earlier, he confronts this guy, trying to help Larry English, and this guy reaches into his pocket like he has a gun. So he grabs his shotgun for self-protection. And he gets in the car, or he walks out in the yard actually, and he sees Matt Albenzi motioning down the street. Same direction Ahmaud Arbery was running in. He gets in the car, his dad gets in the truck, I'm sorry, I say car, it's a truck, Ford F-150, and climbs into the car seat.
Bet it was a Ford F-150.
When seconds count, the police are often minutes away. The police are not going to catch this guy at the speed he's running.
Catching for what? They seen him run out the building. So what? Nothing was in his hand. He clearly wasn't armed. Not running the way you say he's running. You said what he did a 6-minute mile. That was the stride he was into. A 6-minute mile. How you gonna run with a piece on you? I'd be too scared to run with a piece on me, running that fast.
So they're going to try to detain him for the police. What happens after that's up to the police. So they encounter Ahmaud Arbery on Burford. The first encounter is at 307 Burford. This is what it looks like. You saw the video. Let's go back to there. They're there to detain Ahmaud Arbery for the police. This is what the law allows. A private person may arrest an offender if the offense is committed in his presence or immediate knowledge. And that applies to felonies or misdemeanors. But there's a second sentence the state didn't tell you about.
Shout out Stefan McKinley. Good info.
The offense is a felony, and the offender is escaping or attempting to escape. A private person may arrest him upon reasonable.
A private person may arrest an offender if the offense is committed in his presence or within his immediate knowledge. If the offense is a felony and the offender is escaping or attempting to escape, a private person may arrest him upon reasonable and probable grounds of suspicion.
And probable grounds of suspicion. That's why Travis McMichael and Greg McMichael sought to detain Ahmaud Arbery. There was no crime committed in their presence. We're not contending there was a crime committed in their presence. But there was probable cause to believe a felony had been committed and that this man was attempting to escape or flee. That's why.
To have probable cause, they got to investigate. And it seemed like what they did was went with what happened prior. Them knowing that there was footage of him going onto the property. So they finally see him and they make their own ruling on what they're going to do. But this dude's trying to switch it up. Like, what investigation did they conduct to have probable cause to detain him other than that situation? He was running. He was running. Call the cops, follow him. Doesn't constitute them gunning him down like they did.
Citizen's arrest is in this case. There are 3 encounters with Ahmaud Arbery on Burford. The first one is in front of Roddy Bryan's house. William R. Bryan. I shouldn't call him Roddy. I don't know. Mr. Bryan's house. Travis McMichael pulls up alongside Ahmaud Arbery and says, "Stop. Whoa. I want to talk to you. What were you doing back there? What's going on?" And Ahmaud Arbery says, "0." He doesn't say, "Hey man, I'm just out for a jog." He doesn't say, "Hey, leave me alone." He doesn't say, "Back off." He doesn't say, "Hey, calm." He doesn't say anything. He just looks at Travis and he goes back the other way. Travis backs his truck up. He says, "Whoa, stop. I want to talk to you." Ahmaud Arbery looks at him and bolts. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say, "Leave me alone." Doesn't say, "Hey, good morning, good afternoon." He just bolts. At this time, there is no gun. The shotgun that Travis
Shout out to Mad Cat.
is stuck between his seats. Greg's gun is on his holster. There's no gun being pointed at Mr. Arbery. There's no like, "Hey, stop," at the point of a pistol or a shotgun. There's no gun. Mr. Arbery's not even aware of any guns at that point because no gun has been shown.
No, other than a truck trying
go
to
down
force him
Burford.
off the road.
They pull up to him again in Burford, by the way. So the drive turns kind of, the little jog turns into Burford. They go down Burford a little ways more. "Whoa, stop. I want to talk to you. Stop. We called the police. Police are coming." When Mr. Arbery hears Travis McMichael say, "We called the police. Police are coming."
They forced it. They made him stop. They had no reason to make him stop. This dude, he's trying to say by law because they seen him run out the property. They had probable cause to detain him because of reasonable suspicion from what they had of him on footage prior.
He bolts back the other way, towards Roddy Bryan's house, back towards Satella Drive.
It was a
They
manhunt.
stop the truck, put it in park. Greg McMichael does get out and he gets in the bed because he's cramped into the child seat.
This motherfucker jumps on top of this fat motherfucker jumps on top of the child seat. Okay? He's so anxious to kill a motherfucker. He jumps on top of the child seat on the passenger side. They don't even take time to pull it the fuck out. He just sits his fat ass right on it.
They stop the truck, put it in park. Greg McMichael does get out and he gets in the bed because he's cramped into the child seat. Travis McMichael gets out and he looks down the road. What the heck? I want to talk to this guy. He's just been suspected coming out of English's house. He sees Albenzi moving. We know it's the guy from the night 12 days before. He's back again. And he looks down the street and he sees Ahmaud Arbery.
Keepers of the list as a resistance. No disrespect to anyone. But when do you think that at some point there will be a race war, not a civil war in the States? I don't know. I think the government got enough control that if it get close to that, they'll calm it down because they don't want that. If it's a race war going on, and that's going to be problems for them. So if it's close to it, but not as close as a lot of people think. If it does come to it, I find that the government will diffuse it before it goes all the way down.
Trying to get into Roddy Bryan's truck, Mr. Bryan's truck. He's interacting with the truck. He doesn't know who that black Silverado truck belongs to. He doesn't know Roddy Bryan. He's never met him. He doesn't know his truck. So he sees this black Silverado. And he sees Ahmaud Arbery trying to get in it. And he expects to hear a gunshot. Because he thinks Ahmaud Arbery is armed. Like he pretended to be on the 11th. And he's fearful that this guy, whose name he doesn't know, will try to shoot the owner of the truck and take the truck. And so that scares him. This attacking the truck worries him. His dad says, Travis, go back, go back. He says, no, Dad, just go around Zellwood, for the name. Go down further down here. They see this interaction back here. They're going to go around Zellwood. They're going to take a left on Holmes. Now, they don't know where either the black Silverado is, or what that has to do with anything, or where Ahmaud Arbery is. So going down Holmes is not with the intention of trapping Ahmaud Arbery. It's with the intention of strategically planting yourself so you can kind of help the police see the neighborhood.
It's bullshit.
As they go down Holmes Drive at a slow rate, they see Ahmaud Arbery running in front of the truck. Travis McMichael drives past him. Doesn't say anything to Ahmaud Arbery. Doesn't shout at him. Just kind of drives past him, watching to see what this guy is going to do. Again, no gun, no shotgun, no pistol is brandished, pointed in any way shown to Mr. Arbery. 3 times on Burford, they encountered Mr. Arbery. Now, once on Holmes, no gun. They go down to the bottom of Holmes, towards the stop sign, and stop the car. They don't know where Mr. Arbery is at this point because he's around the dog leg. That's the picture of Holmes Drive, looking up it from Travis McMichael's vantage, and you can see where the road kind of dog legs to the right. And past that dog leg, you can't see what's happening. But at that point, Travis McMichael can now strategically see Satilla Drive, his road where his family is located, Burford, and Holmes. So if the police get there, which he thinks they're coming any minute, he can tell them, I don't see him in these directions, he's that way. Or I do see him, and he's in one of these streets. That's why he stops. While he stopped there, gets out of his truck, Greg is still in the bed, and they see Ahmaud Arbery coming out. And Travis is like, whoa, stop, whoa, 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 stop. And Ahmaud Arbery keeps running at him. Travis keeps yelling, stop, stop, stop. And then he reaches into his car, and he sees Ahmaud Arbery flip and go back around the dog leg. Grabs his gun and his cell phone. He says, Dad, when did the police get in here? He says, I didn't call 911. Travis dials 911 and gives his dad his phone. And that's why we have a 911 call, because Travis McMichael had his phone and thought to call the police. Where are they? It's before the first shot is fired. They call the police. That is not evidence of an intent to murder.
And we do know that the prosecution opening statement was that the call wasn't made until after Ahmaud Arbery was shot. So, of course, they're going against that and saying that before any shots were fired, there was a call made.
While Travis is out there, now he has his gun for protection because this guy has run at him, has acted bizarrely, has not said a word yet that he could tell. And now Ahmaud Arbery's running back.
Shout out Snapface.
Travis's training taught him to show a weapon. Not to use a weapon, to show a weapon, because that is a way to de-escalate violence. In a normal situation, you show someone you have a weapon, you get compliance. You don't need to go any further. And so he stands there at the low ready position, not pointing his weapon. And Ahmaud Arbery is running. And he's running at Travis McMichael. Stop, stop, get down, stop. And this guy is not stopping. And Travis knows that this guy is not going to stop. He's not predictable. He's going to be on him in seconds if he doesn't do something. Like, please turn. Please go up, Satilla. This is where we are. Ahmaud Arbery had a clear path to Satilla. Travis is down here. He could have cut across there. He doesn't cut across. He's coming at him. And yes, at about 20 yards, he raises the weapon because he knows Ahmaud Arbery can be on him, and he's hoping that by raising the weapon, he will de-escalate the situation. Who's going to attack a guy pointing a shotgun? If he wanted to kill him, that was an open shot. He didn't shoot. He didn't shoot his weapon. He was trying to de-escalate the situation in compliance with his 9 years of training in the Coast Guard, same training police officers get. You see his, let's go back to the one before. The gun is down, and you saw this a little bit. You can see the white forearm of Travis McMichael. Let me move this map.
This is his explanation of why they killed him.
It doesn't even face them. I didn't say don't. Okay. I said be careful because we lost.
You'll see this in this
Hold on a second. Next time I ask you to stop, please stop.
No, well, I should just be careful.
The point is, let's not keep moving stuff around. If you're going to be doing something, just let everybody know what's going on. Okay?
The judge is checking them on moving stuff within the courtroom. I don't know who that was, if that was a part of the defense that was moving the TV, but he just told them, he said, next time I say stop, stop.
Be careful. It doesn't even face them. I didn't say don't. Okay. I said be careful because Hold on. Lost.
This guy right here, he took it upon himself to just angle the whole flat screen a different way.
You'll see this in this
Hold on a second. Next time I ask you to stop, please stop.
No, well, I should just be careful.
The point is, let's not keep moving stuff around. If you're going to be doing something, just let everybody know what's going on. Okay? The point was, last time this was touched, not by Ms. Dudkowski, but generally in other matters before the court, we lost it. So if we could, before we just start moving things around, let the court know.
Shout outs Jay Sunny Candles. What's going on, bro? I'm chilling.
And I don't mean to call it shit. I'm very touchy about, no pun intended, about some of this electronics in here. As Mr. Rubin has alluded to, we've lost connections and all sorts of problems. So we're trying to make sure these presentations flow. So I didn't mean that. But if everybody could let me know if we're doing that.
This is a fuzzy picture. You'll have pictures in the video throughout the course of the trial. His arm is down, and you can see the white forearm. You can see the driveway here. Travis,
We've lost the sideline there, haven't we? You're okay over your shoulder now? Okay, that's the other issue.
And I know it's awkward, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. So there's a driveway here, and Travis McMichael is across from another driveway. You'll see it's about 60 feet, 20 yards away. And he knows how quickly someone can cover 20 yards in seconds. An unarmed person can take a weapon away and kill a police officer or a civilian in seconds, even from 20 yards away. Even an armed person from 20 yards away. So he raises his weapon. In the next slide, and you see the distance.
He raises it for what? Why couldn't he just keep his distance? What did he have to keep pushing forward for and raise his weapon?
Because he wants the guy to stop, not because he wants to hurt Ahmaud Arbery. He's not looking for an encounter. If he wanted to hurt somebody, he would have fired on Burford on homes or now down here at the bottom. Ahmaud Arbery doesn't stop. He doesn't say, whoa, hey, I'm good. He doesn't say anything. And he doesn't stop. Instead, he goes around the truck to the right-hand side, the passenger side, and at that point, Travis McMichael can't see his hands. Remember, he still thinks this guy could be armed because I saw this guy, at least pretend he was, on the 11th. He doesn't know. He can't see his hands. And his dad, his 64, 65-year-old dad, who's had a stroke, is on the bed, and Ahmaud Arbery could just yank him down or take a shot at him. He doesn't know.
That's the bottom line. Level Wise on point, Keep Other Lists on point, Mad Cat on point, everybody pretty much on point. They were looking for an encounter. That was the whole thing. And it came to them. They just, they sat it out. They waited. They said, okay, it's been happening for almost over a year now, whatever. He's been coming on to the property. We have footage of him. It's only a matter of time he come again. And he came at the right time. And they were ready.
So he goes to the front of the truck to get an eye on him. What's this guy going to do? Good Lord, I hope he just keeps running.
Wow.
Go up Satilla. But he doesn't know, so he goes to the front, and within a split second, Ahmaud Arbery makes a left, not a right. Makes a left and is on Travis. Such that Travis has no choice but to fire his weapon in self-defense. And that shot is a contact or near contact wound, meaning Ahmaud Arbery is on him. You'll hear that from Brian Leopard of the GBI Crime Lab. That first shot, which we can't really see.
Look how uncomfortable he felt.
Investigation was assigned.
Hold on, I'm about to take it right there. Look how uncomfortable he felt. You see how he was shuffling all around in his chair?
And that shot is a contact or near contact wound, meaning Ahmaud Arbery is on him. You'll hear that from Brian Leopard of the GBI Crime Lab. That first shot, which we can't really see because it's videotaped through two.
He's uncomfortable with that even being shown right now. I'm pretty sure they had a back and forth about, making this argument. And he's very uncomfortable. He doesn't want that to be shown.
That first shot.
He looked mad right there. Look at his face.
GBI Crime Lab. That first shot, which we can't really see
Wow.
because it's videotaped through two windshields. Brian's windshield and Travis McMichael.
He's upset right there. He probably wasn't even sure they was going to slip that one in there. Did you see his reaction?
Which we can't really see because it's videotaped through two windshields. Brian's windshield and Travis McMichael's windshield. They're in front of the truck. When they collide, when Ahmaud Arbery makes a left, he's on Travis, and Travis has to fire. Because at that point, it's his life or Ahmaud Arbery's life. And the only thing, it's weird the way the mind works, the only thing he can think of at that point is Everett. It kind of flashes through his mind. My 3-year-old son. So he fires.
The fuck out of here. He wasn't thinking about Everett when he hauled ass out the house and grabbed the fucking shotgun. He wasn't thinking about Everett then. Now he's thinking about Everett.
Ahmaud Arbery's not stopped. nose was near his chest. At least he believes it. In this melee, he pulls it down, he pulls it back. You'll see from the video, he goes backwards out of frame because Arbery is rushing him, pulls it down, he fires another shot off frame. You see smoke, you see something spray. And you see Ahmaud Arbery swinging wildly. And he's hitting Travis. You see him hit with his right hand into Travis's head, neck. He's pounding Travis McMichael while Travis is trying to get the gun away. And Travis fires 2 more times, and you've seen that. It's a horrible, horrible video. And it's tragic. It's tragic that Ahmaud Arbery lost his life. But at that point, Travis McMichael is acting in self-defense. He did not want to encounter Ahmaud Arbery physically.
So if he did not want to encounter him physically, he should have not got so close to Ahmaud Arbery. They should have just followed him in the truck and reported his movements to the police. With no reason for them to do all what they did.
Stop him for the police. Self-defense is defined. And the court will charge you later.
Your Honor, I'm objecting again. Mr. Rube is now giving them the law in self-defense. So
we are allowed to get a long opening statement, just as the state did in its opening.
We need to be very clear because, again, we haven't gone through a charge conference in this case. So let's be clear about it, that this is not the charge. So
I expect you'll be charged on self-defense. And I expect this is what you'll be called, be charged, be told by the judge. A person is justified in using force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if he reasonably believes that such force is necessary to prevent death or great bodily injury to himself or to a third person. At the time the shots are fired, Travis McMichael reasonably believes, because Ahmaud Arbery is on him, aggressively, swinging wildly, grabbing hold of him, grabbing hold of the gun.
Just like Keeper of the List says, not when you provoke the encounter. They created that whole situation. They did not have to get so close to dude. They didn't have to create that situation where contact happened. No, just following. They didn't want that. We heard what he said earlier. He said that. No, I'm sorry. The father was like, "That's the guy. The guy's there." And he jumped right up, grabbed the gun, and hopped in the truck. The Ford F-150. They was ready for him. They was hoping that he'd come again. He came so many times before onto the property. They was ready, and it happened to be at the right time.
Somebody believes he is justified in firing his weapon, knowing it's gonna kill him. It's gonna at least hurt him. Knows that. He has no choice, because if this guy gets his
shout out D. Johns,
he's dead, or his dad's dead. And what's he taught in the Coast Guard, at the Maritime Law Enforcement Academy? Never lose your weapon. And that's why he shoots. Travis McMichael, within seconds, encounters the police. Officer Minshew, Officer Duggan. They arrive on scene. He cooperates fully. He does whatever they tell him to do. When they say speak, he speaks. When they say don't speak, he doesn't speak. He cooperates fully. He's distraught. He's upset. You'll see this on the video, the body cam of the officer. There's no glee at having done what he just did. It's awful. He's covered in blood. Ahmaud Arbery's blood. And then they take him down to the station, and he cooperates fully with the police and answers every question. When they tell him to write a map of where he went, he tries to write a map of where they went when they encountered each other on Burford and Holmes. And when they ask him to write a statement, he does his best to write out everything he knows to tell the police. There's been a lot written about this case and Travis McMichael's actions. Doesn't matter. What matters now is the evidence that you're going to hear, the facts that you're going to hear, and the law that you're going to be given by Judge Walmsley. You are now the judges of the facts and the applicators of the law in this case. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that Travis McMichael, honestly and lawfully, attempted to detain Ahmaud Arbery according to the law and shot and killed him in self-defense. What we're asking you to do is hard, and it may be unpopular, but we're asking you to recognize your responsibility as jurors in being open to the facts and putting aside emotion and listening to the law and applying that and doing your duty. Because we think the only right verdict is not guilty on each and every count in this indictment. Thank you.
And that's a wrap, man. I appreciate y'all for sticking in here and watching this recap of the defense's opening statement of the Ahmaud Arbery killing. That was the defense for the son, last name McMichael, I forgot his name, his first name, but his last name is McMichael, but it was the son. He's the defense of the representative for the son. Yes, Monday we'll hear from, I got to catch up on this trial because this is all that I've seen up. This is what I reached to, this part right here, so I gotta catch up over the weekend. I might come back tomorrow night with something if it's interesting from this day one opening statements. But that's what happened today. I didn't catch up on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I was too much into this. It took me hours to watch to get up to this point because I started late. But I'm gonna watch more later on. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Otherwise, let's see. Keep us on the list. Kenny Powers, D. Johns, Mad Cat, Jonathan Nicola, Poor Dirt Farmer, Stefan McKinley. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe out there. I'm out.